Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Apeksha Story Corner. As those of you who know me know that I'm a voracious reader, and I've always wanted to share this joy of reading with my friends and family. But since I'm not really into writing detailed analytical reviews, I kind of never got around to doing it. So this is my way around it. On Apeksha Story Corner, we will be exploring books. I'll introduce you to books that I've read and enjoyed and loved, and I will also be reading excerpts from those books. Along with that, I'll be reading excerpts from my own upcoming books and my short stories that I've written and posted on my blog, that I share in my blog regularly. So do join me on my reading journey and let's read together on Apeksha Story Corner. On today's episode, since this is the first episode of Apeksha Story Corner, I'll be talking about my novella, The Itsy Bitsy Spider, which is available for free on Kindle Unlimited. And it is available for 49 rupees on Kindle. So do grab a copy if you. The Itsy Bitsy Spider is a story about a 17-year-old girl, Samira Zoshi, who wants to be a spy. She has only one dream in life. She just wants to be a spy. And why not? Her parents, who are elite spies themselves, have trained her to be a spy. Yet, for some reason, her mother has suddenly decided that she wants her daughter to be a doctor. So, this novella is the beginning of Samira's story, and it tells you how Samira deals with the fact that her mothers both her parents, in fact, are trying to get in the way of her dreams coming true. So, join me as I read an excerpt from my book, The Itsy Bitsy Spider. Here we go. The Cold War between our family and Seema Kaku's began with gunshots at her son's thread ceremony. I was attending the ceremony under duress, without even the comfort of a good book. Oh no, Missy, the last time you carried a book to Sarita Maushi's daughter's wedding, you became the laughing stock of the whole clan, scolded Ma. Huh, you were curled up with a book under a table once, and you never hear the end of it. I was sitting at a table with my older cousins, listening to them boasting about the boys they had kissed. Ew, I thought. When they glared at me, I realized that I had said that out loud. Why are you here, Sam? Go and play, one of them ordered, as if I was 6 years old instead of 12. I sighed and moved to another table at the other end of the room. After an hour of sitting by myself, I just wanted to go home. But my mother wanted me to socialize. And when your mother knows 17 different ways to kill a man with her bare hands, you don't argue with her. Much. When I heard gunshots, I was happy about some excitement finally, until I realized that someone was using my Baba for target practice. Thankfully, Baba had amazing reflexes and managed to duck under a table. As luck would have it, for the first time ever, my parents were stuck without any weapons. I had never known them to be unarmed. Baba always carried his .9 mm Glock, even when he went vegetable shopping. As for Ma, she was an expert at carrying an arsenal on her person. This was the woman who had turned up at her own wedding, armed to the teeth, with knives strapped to her shins under her Banarsi silk sari and a small country revolver holstered to her thigh. Don't worry, I wasn't born then. I only know what Baba let drop on one of their wedding anniversaries. This was his idea of a toast to his awesome wife, but from Ma's fierce glare, I was sure his toast had put him in the doghouse. On that fateful day, Aji had put a complete and non negotiable bans on weapons at the ceremony. She made Ma empty out her purse before we left, and when Ma's tiny Swiss minigun fell out, Aji had yelled at her. Calm down, Ai, it's fake. It's just a keychain, see? Said Ma, showing her the keys attached to it. In response, Aji picked the gun up and pointed it at the floor near Ma's foot. And when Ma stared at her with a blank face, she placed her finger on the trigger. I reacted by diving under the dining table. For heaven's sake, Samira, Ma said with total disgust. I knew she'd been trying to bluff Aji, but I also knew exactly how much damage that tiny gun could do. It was not a fake. So she could growl at me all she wanted. I wasn't taking any risks. Thank you very much. Can we at least pretend to be a normal family? What is wrong with you people? Who carries guns to a family function? Ranjit, lift up your kurta right now, ordered Aji. Baba sheepishly pulled up his kurta to reveal the Glock he holstered to his thigh over his churidar. Children, please don't embarrass our family name. Keep all your James Bond hijinks to yourself. And let's just have a nice day with our extended family, begged Aji, with a tired sigh. As she stared in horror at the masked assassin who was pointing a gun at her only son, I was sure Aji was regretting her decision. If Baba had his gun, he could have dispatched the guy within seconds. But my parents were not elite spies for nothing. Everyone in the hall had hit the floor the minute bullets started spraying from the assassin's Uzi. Baba grabbed a couple of empty trays from a waiter who was hiding under the next table, and using them as shields, he ducked behind tables and advanced on the assassin. Meanwhile, Ma crept up from behind the guy silently. His attention was on Baba, so he didn't notice Ma crouched on the floor behind him. She reached up and pulled out the hairpin holding her French twist in place. It was a Trojan hairpin with an extendable stiletto blade that Ma pulled out and stabbed into the guy's foot. So much for Aji's Bannon weapons. When the assassin screamed and bent to grab his foot, Baba hit him on the head with a tray, and Ma turned his own Uzi on him. They hustled him out of the hall, and people slowly started getting up off the floor. When my eyes landed on Seema Kaku, who was helping her poor son out from under the priest, oh yeah, when she heard gunshots, Kaku totally pulled the priest over to cover her precious son. I saw her furious face, and I should have realized right then that we would never hear the end of this. So, hope you guys liked the excerpt, and if you did, please go and grab a copy of the book. It's available for free for Kindle Unlimited subscribers, and it's available for rupees 49, as I mentioned, for anybody else who wants to read the book on Kindle. And don't forget to drop me a review, because writers depend on reviews. We want our readers to get back to us and tell us how they liked it. So, guys, that was the first episode of Apeksha Story Corner. For our next episode, we have a very special guest. Kanchana Banerjee, who's a celebrated author and a very close friend, is celebrating the first anniversary of Nobody's Child, her second book. This whole month, the month of August, is being celebrated as the first anniversary month of Nobody's Child. And she's going to come on Apeksha Story Corner to read an excerpt from her thrilling book. This is a book I have read more than a couple of times because I love the way she writes, I love the story, and it is a total page turner. So stay tuned for our next episode on Apeksha Story Corner. Have a nice week.